Showing you how to make a spinning top out of 3 pieces of origami paper. It is long but fun to make, and it is also fun to play with if you are bored or something like that. So let's jump right into it. First, you need to make a windmill base. So fold the origami paper in half both ways. Now take one of the 2 pairs of opposite sides and fold the edges towards the center line. Now take each of the corners and fold it up towards the center line. Then fold them back out. With each of the 4 corners, make a squash fold. I'm having a little bit of difficulty here. Now take 2 of the flaps and fold them outward, like so. Now do the same for the other side. Now take one of the flaps and fold it outward, and do the same for the opposite flap. This completes your windmill base. Now that you have your windmill base, take one of the flaps and make a squash fold, and do the same for each of the other 3 flaps. Then take the edges of each of the squares and fold them towards the center line. Then fold them back out. Now take one of the inner flaps and raise it up so you could perform a squash fold by taking the outer edges and pushing them towards the center line and then folding it back, like so. Now do the same for the other flaps. Now that that's done, take one of the inner flaps and fold it out as far as it will go, and do the same for the other flaps. Then take the outer flaps and fold them towards the center. This completes the first piece. Now for the second piece. Fold the origami paper in half both ways. Now take each of the corners and fold them towards the center. Now do the same thing again. Flip the paper over, and then do the same thing again. Then flip it over and take each of the inner flaps and fold them outward. This completes your second piece. For the third piece, this is probably the easiest piece to make because it is the way you make it is very similar to the second piece. Now, fold the origami in half both ways. Then take each of the four corners and fold them towards the center. Do the same thing again. Now this time, instead of flipping it over, fold the corners towards the center on the same side. So you fold the corners towards the center 3 times on the same side. Now that you have this piece, fold the paper in half, so create a triangle. Now fold it back and then turn it over. Fold it in half both ways. Now that you have your crease, it will be easier to finish this piece. Take one of the 2 pairs of opposite corners and squeeze it towards the center, like so. This completes your third piece. Now we have to put it together. Take the first piece and the second piece. Take the bottom fold of the second piece and tuck each of the bottom folds into each of the four corners that the first piece makes. Now, take the third piece and tuck each of the corners into the pockets that the second piece creates. This completes the top. It was long, but it was also fun to make, and is also very worth it. So, you should try it. Happy folding!